Super Mario World Blind Race by jesusgeuse. Welcome, shout out to Glitch Cat. I made this level because search for salmon is too hard for me. So I made this only... So this is only a tribute. Oh, Active Directory. I remember Active Directory. I'm glad I don't have to. No, shout out to Just Cook. No shout out to Just Cook. Good luck, go fast. Also, you missed the bus by reading this box. Oh. Interesting. I see. jesusgeuse is a little bit of a troll. But he's a goo... one. Dang it. Alright. New territory. Jumping would help. Nope. Anyway, today was last day of PAX. Went and saw the last few things I needed to go see. Managed to finally get to play a few of the things I really wanted to, but never could find a free spot for. So. Also found a couple... Oh, wait. Whoops. Also found a couple really interesting games hidden off in some interesting corners. On one about a cat who has a teleporter, which is really cool. And another one about hands. Just about hands. It's very, very odd. Was really hoping they actually had a public demo. Because I really wanted a second chance at what I was doing. Hands, yes. Hands. The entire thing has an aesthetic that is made out of human hands. And, yeah, it's so odd. So odd. Like, I started playing this, I'm like, what the hell is this? And then it started making sense, and I'm like, oh, okay. But yeah, it's called Out of Hands. Like, you have a face that's on the left side of the screen that represents, like, you. Made of hands. Every part. Nose, eyes, mouth. Made of hands. You fight some bosses. They're also made of hands. The weirdest thing, it's a Slay the Spire style, like, roguelite card game. Which is not what you would expect. All of the things you can get on cards, of course, are things you manipulate with your hands, like cups of coffee and... Oh, I keep forgetting to hit that one. Let's get some information, at least. Gotta hand it to them. It looked on Steam, it had won some awards already. Circa, like, 2022. So I'm kind of surprised they haven't released it yet. Run here late, runs out the door with toast. Gets run over by Fuzzy. I like it. That's the Mario Isekai, isn't it? Living my life in Fuzzy Land. Reborn as a Pokey. When you read it for the SNES kill counter, that same technology allows you to change the character sprite? Yes. Does that get overwritten on the ROM, on the fly, when it's redeemed? Kind of. Have a hand of handy cards to interact with these hands? Yes. So you can, like, put a hand... You can put something in one of those hands, and then you can use it on things that are trying to hurt you. So, for instance, my personal favorite one was the Steel Ruler, because it does 8 damage, and it would do... extra, and the next attack you did double damage if you killed something with it. That was a really nice card. Coffee cups, pens. I started getting a couple other ones that were weirder, like that like manipulated the other items. But it was a 15-minute demo. There's not a whole lot you can do in 15 minutes when you're learning the system. And I wasn't going to go for a second roll on it because it just didn't seem right. Let other people have a shot. Also, there was other things I needed to see because time went... Fuzzy, right. Lisbon wants you to... Okay, so the way it works is it does modify the ROM briefly, but the way Mario sprites work in Mario World is they're all decompressed into RAM instead of ROM. So what I do is I copy over the character sprite into RAM into ROM, and then copy it into RAM using assembly. I do modify the ROM because it's not really read-only anymore when you're talking about a flash cart. That just doesn't make sense. It's very writable. Unless, like, they decided to lock it or something. Hey, look, I did the thing. Didn't do it well enough. Oh, hey, look, there's the next room. So the answer is yes, I do. And the palettes and stuff have to be modified, which is kind of a big deal. Those are baked into the ROM. So actually modify the routine that takes care of uploading Mario's graphics every frame. It also uploads Mario's palette every frame to VRAM. Well, CG RAM, which is separate from VRAM because of complicated reasons. There's really 3 types of RAM hiding inside the near the PPUs. Not inside, near. General VRAM, CG RAM, which is the color stuff, and then finally the OAM RAM, which is just for sprites. It's a complicated system. The NES also worked this way, but it's slightly simpler. And there's a whole lot less of everything. And you don't really have to worry about VRAM nearly as much, because you generally kind of, I mean, unless you're doing something fancy, you probably are working like in a system that has CG-ROM. CG-ROM? NROM? NROM. What was the... Oh, CHR-ROM, that's the term. Yes, CHR-ROM. That's where, like, all of the graphic tiles are. They're just sitting on the cart, and there's an entirely separate bus that handles reading tiles. It's just, that's how it works. It gets hooked into the PPU's memory space directly. Which is why you can do a lot of interesting things on the NES. And mappers were so very, very powerful. You could also, like, use it you could also just put some RAM there, but you have to do your writes through the PPU, which sucks. What's up, Luis? How you doing? And it sucks because the NES doesn't exactly have any DMA. It has OAM. It has OAM DMA, but does not have general DMA. And the reason for this is that they hard-coded the DMA exceptionally hard. YYCHR? Yes, exactly. Exactly. In fact, fun fact, I guess I don't know how much fun it is, but back in the day, people used to release these really awful ROM hacks where they, like, just changed the graphics. And the reason they could make those was because there was a CHR editor inside Nesticle. So if you wanted to turn Mario into, like, I don't know, a butt, you could do that. And people made all sorts of not very good ROM hacks of things where they just changed the graphics, and that's it. For instance, there's The Wall for NES, which changes the graphics of Donkey Kong to look more like The Wall from the movie Pink Floyd's The Wall. Well, I mean, there's a wall, but there's also Pink himself, his wife, and, of course, instead of Donkey Kong, you now have a dancing asshole. Quite literally a dancing asshole, that's what it is. It makes sense in context if you've seen the movie. I do not recommend seeing the movie. There we go. Alright, had a bad day, was jogging and running in a race. Oh, nice. Well, hopefully the race went well. Sorry you had a bad day. Ow. Okay, I got a fuzzy harder. Dang it. But yeah, I was at PAX. Saw a bunch of things. Talked to Anon for a bit, which was nice. I think I need that to go somewhere. Impulse, still looking good. Apparently demo soon. Or public demo soon. Instead of just being, like, private demos and, PAX demos. Oh, so close. What's up, Pete, dude? How you doing? Hey, keep falling off. Talking ROM hacking, talking PAX, talking anything that comes to mind as I fail to ride the fuzzy. Was happy I beat 1F8 when I could still tell Anon in person that I beat 1F8. I think, of course, it only took like 20 minutes once I got back into it. Nope. Honestly, I want to say I had a lot more fun with 1F8 than I did the castle. And that almost all comes down to the Bowser fight being just obnoxious. That's some friends went out for a while, and then I want to try the map editor. Oh, I think I see where things went awry. Honestly, I think when it comes to those tools, you should basically always make up a backup, a backup of your ROM before touching it again. These tools be flaky. Oh, I didn't see the line. Sometimes it's hard to see things on the screen. What else was cool I saw? Apparently, like, the new hot thing in, like, horror or something is, like, desktop horror, where you put someone in front of not quite Windows 95 and, like, look at the horror! But there were two different games that were doing that at PAX, which was interesting to me. One of them was definitely taking more of a Slender Man approach and, like, being like, look at these scary internet things that are also anime characters. And the other one was taking much more straightforward, just here's an interface, look at it. Talk to them about it for a few minutes. I'm like, you know, you might want to consider allowing people to change the refresh rate of the keyboard. Oh, I should have just gone. Like, Sega or Nintendo? Well, Nintendo was there, but I didn't actually look at any Nintendo stuff. Most of the stuff I looked at was for PC or a Melty system. Kinto Pet? I don't think I've heard of Kinto Pet. Let me look that up, I'm curious. Yeah! That's definitely, looking at the first few things I can see, very similar. Though the one that was in, like, the PAX Rising 12 was definitely more straightforward. It's like, you're gonna solve a mystery thing. I didn't play the actual demo, and he's like, you can play the demo at home, it's fine. I just got to play around with the operating system, so I messed around with it for a few minutes and changed the date to, like, 1993, because I thought it was funny. That's... But yeah, there were two of them. And the other one, like, you have, like, random aim pop-ups while you're, like, trying to do things in a first-person environment. I played through one of the rooms and had to just keep feeding this pig all sorts of stuff. Well, conceptual things. It wasn't actually gross, but then they made it gross. And they're like, how did you like it? And I'm like, well, the walking's really painfully slow. I didn't mention that I realized you could hold down shift to make it less painfully slow, but it was still really painfully slow. There's a lot of weird interface glitches. That would happen. Your mom got mad at you because she doesn't like him, and then they went to sleep, so you had to make a smoothie. Tired now? Yeah, I do stream pretty late, it's true. I was gonna try to get started earlier today. I got back from PAX at, like... Well, PAX ends at 6, at least the part I cared about, because I wasn't gonna go watch the final Omegathon thing. They already said that the round 5 was gonna be Pong. I didn't really need to watch Pong. Maybe I'm wrong about that, though. Unlike a prior Omegathon, I didn't know anybody who was participating, and so I didn't feel the need to watch much of it. Though I might have watched the Halo bit. The Halo bit could have been fun. I like Halo 3. I did watch a couple speedruns when I was there. The Mario 1 speedrun was cool. Watched a bit of the Mario RPG one. Some friends told me the Baldur's Gate 3 one was really good, but I haven't played Baldur's Gate 3, and probably won't ever at the rate that I'm playing Baldur's Gate 2. Which I should message Fries about this week. But then I walked home, and then I was tired. I lied down for a bit, and I almost actually fell asleep and was like, well, do I still want to stream? And I'm like, yeah, I kind of do. So I got up and did it anyway. Cannot hit that block. And that's why we're here. Want to go through all the race levels? It's ambitious. I mean, it's not as ambitious as beating all the Kaizos, and Katoon did that, so... How you doing, Jank Pickle? If you want to have a nice thing to pick race levels for you, and it does actually keep track of them. My randomizer thing is actually a pretty cool tool, because I wrote it for me, so its interface is for me, but, like, it's feasible. Anybody could just pick this up and use it. I don't know if anyone has. I'll just, like, put a link to it somewhere so people can see it. It's sick? Yeah, let me point you at it. But basically, it picks a random level, and then you can use the built-in HTML JavaScript thing to automatically patch it once you upload, that's a big finger quotes upload, the SMW ROM once. And I exited the level, which was dumb. Is Nesticle for NES? Sounds familiar. Do you know if it's easy to make a video of Nesticle? I don't know. Nesticle is definitely for NES. Making a video, it can be difficult depending upon what you're trying to do. If you're just trying to do like a screen recording, it's fairly easy. You just open up OBS and create your desktop source and go for it. The more fancy you want to go, the more difficult it is. If you need to do editing and whatnot. But I know a little bit about video production, circa 2010, or 2005. I used to be pretty decent with Final Cut Pro. Not anymore. Don't own a copy. Makes it kind of hard. I've been using Kden Live and I kind of hate it. Tends to crash at weird times. I should have gone one more bounce. And I've also been using Lossless Cut recently, because Lossless Cut, it lives up to its name, and it takes a lot less time for videos to render, because it's not re-encoding videos, because it's, you know, it's lossless. But it still has a bit of a terrible interface, and you can't really do a lot of the... Oh, what am I doing? I just need to hit it at the peak there. Gives you an error in FCUX. I would not recommend trying to go to Nesticle. Nesticle is ancient. Nesticle was the kind of NES emulator you would use, that I used circa, like, 2000, or 98. Yeah, 98. So I would not recommend using Nesticle in this day and age, except as sort of a novelty. It's kind of like using ZSNES. You probably shouldn't. I'm not going to say it's a big security risk, but it's definitely not a very good emulator compared to other options. I will always say that if you're going to want a at least moderately accurate NES emulator, I'd recommend going after Messen. There is a new version of Messen available. Sour decided to start working on it again after like a year or so of not working on it. But he's back at it, and because Fiskbit is busy doing NES research, anytime Fiskbit finds something that is incongruous, Sour fixes it. So... it's your best bet at accuracy. It also has a really good debugger. Like, it's one of those I would not want to do any retro game development without access to it, because the debugger is just that good. It works on Windows, macOS, and Linux recently. Oh, wouldn't like make you make a video? I don't know how... yeah, I don't know about that. OBS is definitely a better way to just make a simple video, but, like, I think the FEUX ones would... I don't know. I do not know anything about that at this point. I just realized I read it wrong. Like, I know people can make, like, do reasonable recordings and other ones. Yeah, Messen, I don't know if it makes videos, though, but it is the better NES emulator out there. Fiskbit used to be all about Punis, P-U-N-E-S, but he changed his mind after a while. And if I want to know what NES emulator to use, I would ask Fiskbit. But I already know the answer. It's Messen. Dang it. Let me type it in so anyone can find it. M-E-S-E-N. There you go. Find on GitHub. He usually puts out builds for most of the types, but I think most people use Windows, so it's not a big deal to use Windows build. I need to update my Mac OS build. Missed it. But yeah, it's a multi-emulator now, so it does Nintendo, Super Nintendo WonderSwan, I want to say. There's probably like 2 or 3 other ones I've missed. Fiskbit was very excited about WonderSwan because Fiskbit is very excited about very strange things. The last time we were talking. That's fine. I type things in the wrong boxes too, it happens. I cannot believe I am getting hung up on this. I know what to do, I just need to execute. Go. Ultra fuzzy. Oh, this is super fuzzy. Just regular super fuzzy. I'm making that part harder than it needs to be. I'm doing like a weird regrab. Nope. Yeah, I don't use emulators too often because I don't need to. I have most of the consoles available to play games on if I need them. With flash carts now. We can tell you about the map editor. You want to try it later? Well, good luck, but also definitely back up your SMB3 ROM beforehand. Not going to say the editor is going to be flaky or anything, but just as a general rule, before attempting something dangerous, make a backup. Honestly, I do expect that the future of ROM hacking will involve actual proper build scripts at some point. I know Ampersand's all about that, and some other people are too. Instead of the pack it all in one ROM and hope, which has been the status quo for way too long. I mean, last time I did something serious, I did not do that. I wrote a build system because I needed a build system. Otherwise, it was not going to work. Dang it. What's up, Pawaluta? Have an SDSNES? Yes, I do. What I'm playing on right now. Oop. Dang it. So tired. PAX over. PAX is over. Ended at 6. Found some more interesting stuff. Found some things that definitely were not for me. And have more lines of this. I have more spreadsheet to work through. But overall, yeah, pretty good stuff. You hear about Guardian Future Tales? Yeah. I don't ever use save states. You can use them, but I don't, because I'm bad at save states. The way save states work on the SD to SNES is actually pretty amusing. It basically hooks NMI, the start of frame drawing interrupt. It's not completely the correct thing, but it's close enough to the truth. And then sucks the brains out of all of the coprocessors, or all of the memory. Oh, you have to have, yeah, there's documentation on how to do it. I just don't do it. Callisto's pretty good. Yeah, I think Jamie's switching over to that, and that seems like a good way to go. Really what you kind of want is something like the equivalent of, I don't know, like a good package manager for a programming language. Like NuGet or whatever. Yeah, no, so every time I do save states, I have to look up how to do it. You might need to update your firmware if I had to make a guess as to why it's not working. But, every time I've had to use save states for, a specific testing reason, I have to look up how it works. I never remember. I just don't do it often enough to bother. And I don't like using save states. I just don't. When I want to cheat, I'll just have an infinite cape and add some water to the level, and then that'll be it. That's how I'll cheat my way through. Pip install Mario, exactly. Nope. Yeah, no worries. No worries. I'm just not the right person to ask that question to be honest. I'd say if you are having, severe difficulties after reading the documentation, they have a Discord for this sort of thing. Well, not it's just a flashcards Discord, sort of a hodgepodge of all of them. Except, Crix. Crix does a forum for his EverDrives. But if you need help, that's a place you can look for help. I don't remember what it's called, but I'm pretty sure you could find it from the SD to SNES site. And if you can't find it, message me and I'll point you in the right direction. Because that's something I can help with. But, yeah, PAX is over. Hung out with Anon a little bit at the end. Which was cool. Well, hung out a bit before the end, really. Always interesting to talk to him. He has lots of ideas and was like, yeah, after this, I'm going to make these changes. He's very deliberate in his design. There were parts of the thing I didn't quite, grok. In part because I didn't get far enough. Maybe, yes. But also because I'm not very musically inclined, and he is. Impulse has an awful lot of, ideas about music, or ideas that involve music in it, that are probably very intuitive to music people, but are not intuitive to me. Composer require. Yes, that'd be nice, wouldn't it? Yeah, I do have a sound with a flashcard. Play Dr. Kaizo Mario? That's really impossible, so nope, I don't. I mean, I don't play it very well, as anyone who's watched me can attest. Saturn, I've done one. I've done exactly one Saturn stream. I played the Mansion of Hidden Souls last year around Halloween, which is different from Mansion of Hidden Souls. Because of the article you see. Only being a little bit facetious. But it is the sequel to Mansion of Hidden Souls, which was a Sega CD game. And it's way weirder. So weird. Like, they've ditched the whole, like, butterflies talking by flapping around thing and replaced it with these odd talking heads that kind of jerk back and forth. And then there's the art death. And what was the other? And then you win the game by throwing a Pokeball at a butterfly, and then a reptile woman comes out of nowhere. Like, the whole thing is just like a fever dream. I even missed one of the best deaths, where one of the other butterflies just straight up shoots you with a gun. I don't know how I missed it. But I missed it, and it's an awesome death. You can find it on YouTube. It's absolutely hilarious. Took a spreadsheet for Saturn games, played exactly 0 of them. Okay, so Mansion of Hidden Souls, the original for Sega CD, is a relatively short adventure game. Desi's played it. It's not... There are parts that are really tricky and obnoxious, but once you realize that the core conceit of the game is when you don't know what to do, you go to the specific place and it tells you something you can do. Easier to save states? Yes, I think it is, mostly because I know for a fact that I've accidentally done it on a number of occasions by accident. Like Mile and Secret Castle, I use save states because I was gonna mess up the natural way of saving. And it happened at least 3 times. When you game over in that game, if you push, like, up and start, it starts you over, and this is an intentional feature of the game, but I kept messing it up, so I said I save state after every once in a while. Crap, I'm... Expensive? I don't know exactly, to be honest. I bought my EverDrive a while ago. The prices could have gone up or down. I got it from Stonehenge Gamer. Stonehenge Gamer usually does a, like, 20% off Thanksgiving sale, and I got one a few years back with that. Same for the N64 flash card. But yeah, Mansion of Hidden Souls is really cool. I'd recommend playing it, but I would also recommend playing it in an emulator, because, one, when I tried playing on Sega CD, the legitimate copy I purchased did not work. I looked at the back of it. It looked fine. It wasn't scratched or anything. Or at least too scratched, but I just could not get it to boot. Other things would boot, but not that. So I burnt a copy, and the burnt copy had massive problems. Mostly around just lag, and that game is 100% FMV, so moving between rooms is FMV. Talking to critters? FMV. Everything loads from the disc. So it kind of sucks if it takes forever to load from the disc. And definitely my playthrough was a lot longer because of that. Yeah, no problem. Sleep well, Luis. The Mansion of Hidden Souls is for Saturn and takes place after the game, but you're someone else and you like being in the mansion, along with a bunch of other butterflies that like being in the mansion. Because the first game you were trying to save your sister from the mansion because you don't want her to become a butterfly for all eternity. And neither do you want to be a butterfly for all eternity. And the second one is just weird. There is allegedly a third one, according to Moby Games, and I have yet to play it. It's on my list of things to do this Halloween, because damn. And it's also for Saturn. So, we may also see the Saturn sooner than later. I have a silly plan to do something soon that might be a little Saturn-related. This is new. I thought I was racing something. And I was not. Remember one from the last time you rented from the video store? You got 5 discs and they all had problems. You took them back and they gave you 5 free rentals and those all had problems. Rip discs. Yep. Yeah, I don't think I even have another Sega CD. Oh no, Squiggles loaned me some of Sega CD games too, I think. So I had a disc to test with, and that one worked, but the Mansion of Hidden Souls one just didn't, and so... I haven't had this problem with other burnt discs on other, we don't really care all that much about copy protection media platforms. Like, CDI didn't give 2 craps. So, I don't know. Maybe I just got unlucky. But yeah, that's that so far. The thing about Saturn is, I know that there's cool stuff, I just never play it. So I played The Mansion of Hidden Souls, and for a brief few moments played a port of Bubble Bobble, because it was there. And I like Bubble Bobble. Bubble Bobble's fun. Those dudes have been robbed. They need a new game that doesn't involve them shuffling bubbles on an like that doesn't involve them being the bubble dinosaurs controlling the bubble machine. They need another platform adventure, man. I'm just saying. Bub and Bob need a revival. Like, I want Bubble Bobble Metroidvania. I don't know how they could do it, but I want it. Yeah, that weird Tetris platformer did look in... yeah, the Lemmings one. Kind of half Lemmings, half Tetris. That looked really cool. One of those, I really should have taken down notes about those games that Lizstar showed off, because they were often interesting. There's a few other, like, big, obvious ones, like anything that has the word Panzer Dragon in it. Pretty sure those are good. What was the other ones? Thought the Clockwork Knight would be cool to play, because I used to see it in the publications, you know, back when, you know, you learned about video games from reading magazines. And since I didn't own a Saturn or anything, I was like, that game looks so cool, and I have no idea if it's actually cool. I need some momentum there, and I'm not getting it. I think I saw you write it down at GDQ, so... There we go. I guess also in, like, terms of tech stuff that I fixed up, you might notice that the HUD is actually displaying correct data now. Previously, the box up there did not actually show who wrote the level or what the name of the level was. I finally got around to fixing that. And if Max shows up, he'll be like, why did you do the hack command so many times before starting stream? And that's why. I had a minor bug in the code I wrote to do it, handle it on the bot side, and it's been fixed, and it's all good now. I was so busy looking at where I was going, I didn't see where I was going. This actually, since we're talking about old games consoles, I was playing a game, and I was looking at the graphics, like, wow, these guys really went all out. They really, like, wanted to go PS1 core. And then I finally actually look at the name of the game, because I didn't. I just like, oh, this looks cute. I'm just gonna play this. Woo! Yeah, it actually was a PS1 game. It was ported to a modern systems PS1 game, but it was 100% a PS1 game. I was even watching a little, like, promo video they had going on and realized that they were like, you can choose original graphics or new fancy graphics. Woo! Which amused me greatly. Because I was even looking at, like, the way that the texture on the ground worked. I'm like, wow, that wood's got that characteristic, like, PlayStation texture wobble. And yeah, no, it was absolutely just PlayStation. I'm just dumb. Well, not paying that much attention is really the right answer, but... Alright, I beat 2 levels. Beat it. Look at a more modern level. Alright, we could try this one. This is a newer level. Thanks to the GG. And that was a pretty cool little level. Very early. Very early. Oh, I didn't check how well I did. Dang it. I meant to do that. I can just look on the screen. It'll tell me which season this was from, more or less. Thanks to GG. This was 52, so this was way early. Let's see, maybe season 4? Thanks to the GG too, Harry. Alright, let's see. 52 by Jesus Juice. This isn't... That's not the... 5? Okay, how would I have done? Probably not great looking at this now that I look at it. Let's see. I did the hack command at 12:08. It took me about 30 minutes and change. Not great. Yeah, it was. That's why I picked it. I was like, I know this name. Bit unisec-eyed. Congratulations. Gonna head out. Alright, sleep well, board, or whatever. Or have a good rest of your day. See you later. But yeah, I would have come in, like, next to last, I think.